All right, welcome to the sports office. What night is it? Wednesday? Middle of the week?
Wednesday.
Hump day in the sports office. And that means I've got two of my favorites with me tonight. I've got James Paxson right here. I've got Greg Canner over here. Both these fine gentlemen, sports producers here at Fox 2. All right, we also have our special guest tonight, Max Bultman, who is Red Wings beat writer from The Athletic. He's going to come in and join us when? Right now?
Right now.
Let's bring him in. Come on in, Max.
Max!
Come on in. Hey, Max. How are you, buddy?
How's it going, fellas? Pleasure to be here.
It is going fantastic. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. You know, let's start the show off, okay, with the Red Wings. Two straight, three out of the last four. This team's looking pretty good right now. What do you credit this, the positives to? Because maybe earlier this month we saw a lot of negatives when they lost 3 or 4.
Yeah, and the negatives, you know, they didn't completely stop there, right? They blew a 4-1 lead to Buffalo over the weekend, and that's where I kind of credit the current run of play is after that game, they saw what they did. They mismanaged the game. They locked in. They've played probably 2 of their most complete checking games since that Buffalo game. Really drama-free game. It was a 1-goal game the other night for the entire third period. You wouldn't have known it. I mean, they were able to keep Seattle to 5 shots on goal in the third, really kept them to the outside. Fantastic way to close out a game and showed a step of progress that they had taken. We'll see how long they can keep it up. It's still a young team. I don't think anything really lasts too long in the NHL before either teams adjust or your momentum carries you one way or another. But it's definitely improvement, and certainly to see them in first place here as we get close to American Thanksgiving, a big deal.
Yeah, I noticed the standings. I mean, I think 6 teams are separated by 3 points or something like that. It's very tight from the top. But do you think that this current stretch of positives is something that head coach Todd McClellan can use maybe as a formula for a little while?
I'm sure he'd like to, and that's always the key is, right, you know, usually the NHL, I kind of feel like it's like whack-a-mole, right? As soon as you address one issue, something else pops up, right? And whether it's an injury, whether it's, you know, some lines that need to change, and then everything else has to figure itself out. But right now, they're in a good spot. They've got a nice pocket of the schedule right now with some home games, some teams that are kind of in their weight class. And if they're able to rack up some points here going into Thanksgiving, they can put themselves in a good spot. The problem is the Eastern Conference is so tight, every point really matters.
But I'll tell you, but Woody,
go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, you know, in the past few years, they were chasing so many, you know, so much during the regular season. Mm-hmm. They'd get up to a poor start. They'd ride a roller coaster. 12-7-1 right now. This is the opportunity, these next few weeks, if they can build some points now where they can get through later on in the season a bit of a dip, and it won't kill them like it had in the past. Right?
Yeah, especially at this time of the year, because we have seen Detroit get behind the 8 ball right at the start of the season when they, you know, maybe they win, you know, 2 of the first 12, and then, you know, you're uphill the rest of the way. You've seen that before, Max. Let's hope we don't see it again anytime this year. But I want to talk to you about the upcoming game, the Islanders, okay? Now, are we looking at maybe a little revenge? Because the last time Detroit played the Islanders, they got blown out 7-2, and I know that's something that could still stick with the players.
Yeah, and if you look at the Red Wings this year, they've actually seen, for it being this early into a season, 20 games in, they've seen a good number of teams twice already. In those games, they're 4-1. They would be 5-0 the second time they've seen a team this season had they closed out that Sabres game. So they have done well so far this year seeing a team for the second time. Islanders gave it to them pretty good on Long Island, and you always feel like you like your chances better at home when you can pick the matchups. Right. You know, New York's got one of the most exciting young players in the league in Matthew Schaefer, and that's the guy, if you're watching this game, that you should be keying into. For an 18-year-old defenseman, he's doing basically unheard of things in his first year in the NHL at age 18. So special player. He's a guy that we're going to have to keep an eye on. But I do think that, you know, they've done well the second time they've seen a team this year. I don't see a reason that has to stop tomorrow, especially at the end of a long trip for the Islanders.
For years, we've been hearing about wait for the kids. And this year we're seeing a lot of the kids. So Finney's looked great. Sandine Pellikka's looked great. But who in your mind has stood out as maybe the best rookie or the best kid to perform this year?
Among the rookies, I think you would have to say Emmett Finney. I mean, he came out of basically nowhere. The Red Wings, not to the Red Wings, I think they knew the past year or two that they really had something here. He signed a lot earlier than you typically see a 7th-round pick sign an ELC. And really at every event they've had, he had stood out. You know, he at development camps, prospect tournaments, he always just found it. I was going back and looking, it's always right at the bottom of my notebook from whatever I filed. Is like, and the 7th rounder Emmett Finney looked pretty good too. And it turns out I should have been paying a little more attention to that because he bursts onto the scene. He's playing a role in their top 9, very effective player, whether he's scoring or not. And I think that's the key, is that he's not going to score at the rate that he opened the season at. 8 points in 9 games was outstanding. But I think where he's at now, that 9 points in 20 games, roughly, 35 to 45 points in a season, that's where you're hoping he's going to live. But the key is he's also big on takeaways. His speed gives him an ability to be disruptive on the forecheck, to create opportunities for his line mates. And then the other guy, Nate Danielson has come up in the last 5 games here. He scored his first goal last night, could have had 2. One gets called back for an offsides away from the play. He's the guy that I think Red Wings fans are going to really like, just because of the style of game that he plays. He does have a lot of skill. He's smart. You saw the pass that he made to set up Finney's goal.
Yes.
He's also such a responsible defensive player. The coaches are going to trust him. He's going to get minutes that way too.
Good, Greg.
I was about to say, and another kid, Nate Danielson. It's so great to see him get that first goal, and that second one was pretty. On one of the closest offsides reviews I've ever seen. I mean, they took forever to look at that. Unfortunately, it didn't count. But for a guy like that, even though he scored the first goal off his leg,
right,
how much confidence that can give him? Okay, I got that off my back. I got my goal. Now I could just play. He had that second one. He looked so confident. Mm-hmm. So he seems like a guy, don't you think, Max, who can kind of build off of this and start to get going?
You're spot on. I mean, it's no coincidence, I don't think, that you see the one go in and then the next one's beautiful. And even if it doesn't count, then he makes a really smart, skilled, confident play to set up Finney in the slot for his goal. So absolutely, it's a little bit of when it rains, it pours, because you start feeling good about yourself. It's amazing what you're willing to try, what you're willing to do. And it's always about dialing that in. You don't ever want to get too confident to the point that you get too cute or reckless. And I think the Red Wings have fallen victim to that at a couple different points this year. But certainly, I think you want to see tap it into confidence.
Max, are we finally getting out of the syndrome where Detroit, lets guys marinate down in Grand Rapids for 1,800 years before they come up? I mean, we're seeing you just mentioned some of the young guys in the league doing stuff, and to see, like Danielson, Finney, and Sandin Pellikka, they combined for 4 points in that second period against the Kraken. So why aren't these guys up and playing more? That's what I want to see.
Well, I think that one of the reasons that a guy like Nate Danielson is up and succeeding is the Red Wings, I think, certainly would tell you, because he got some of that time in the American League. Finney bypassing it, I think, is a special case. He did get some time in Grand Rapids at the end of each of the last 2 seasons, particularly last year. He got a little bit of a good bit of run in the playoffs, and that certainly gives him a little bit of a litmus test. Sandin Pellikka played professionally in Europe for multiple years, right? So I'm betting they would tell you that it's not these guys are proof that you don't need the AHL. I'm betting you they're going to tell you these guys are proof, maybe not specifically the AHL, but that you do need pro hockey, that it's good to develop. And they've shown with Lucas Raymond that they'll get a guy in as early as 19 if he's ready for it. Yeah. But I don't think they're in the habit of rushing anybody, even if if it's a borderline case. I think they want it to be clear that a guy's ready for the NHL. They did take a couple of chances basically with Sandin Pellikka and with Michael Brandt-Signigaard, who's now back in Grand Rapids, and that's an example of a guy who, just because you come up and have a good preseason doesn't mean you're necessarily ready to sustain it up against full NHL pace and all that. So I don't think you're going to see a huge philosophical shift there, but I also don't think they're artificially suppressing these guys too long in most cases.
Well, I'd like to see some of those goalies, maybe
I was just about to ask.
Get some run, because I think at one point they had 7 guys under contract in net, and they're like, how are you going to pay all those guys? How are you going to play all those guys? But
those are the guys you really don't want to rush, though. I mean, those are the guys that if you do rush them and if they're not ready, they can tank your whole season if they're not ready for it. So I think that's the position you got to be most careful with. I do think you'll see Sebastian Cossa at some point this year. Mm-hmm. I get your point. It's been a long time there.
Right.
But, if Trey Augustine turns pro in March, I don't think you're seeing him straight to Detroit. I think you're going to see him get plenty of reps in Grand Rapids.
And I think fans and a lot of us are understanding that it takes time and it takes years. And with a goalie, like you said, you can't rush it. But Cossa and Augustine, it feels like they've been in the minors or college forever. So how can you justify keeping them down there for so long when you have Cam Talbot and John Gibson not looking that amazing right now?
Well, Trey Augustine got drafted in 2023. He's yet to play a pro game. I mean, he's still at Michigan State, so I don't think he's been down there, honestly, even close to a long time. Costa, it's a little bit different. I mean, He's had an interesting path, especially for a first-round goalie. He does the year in the East Coast League. You don't typically see that for a first-round pick. And he's had enough time in Grand Rapids now. I agree with you. Now, the flip side is, I don't know. You saw him this preseason. Did you feel like this was a guy who was obviously better than Cam Talbot or John Gibson? Because I did not, and I don't think that says anything about his long-term future.
Flip around on me. Nice job, Max.
Well, I'm just telling you, right? Like, if it was a situation where he had dominated in the preseason and they sent him down, then yeah, we're on the same page. But I do think he'll be up at some point. He's off to a really nice start. He did miss some time with an injury, but I do think you're going to see 10 to 12 games, maybe 8 to 12 games from Sebastian Cossa by the end of the year as a natural progression.
Go ahead, Greg.
And it was clear, early in the preseason last year, of course, and early this year, the defense, struggled. And so when you have a younger goalie, you don't want to put him in front of a struggling defense. The defense has improved over the past month or so. So I think you could feel a little more comfortable taking a chance on a guy. But you also have two veteran goalies who, goalies they're like kickers. They could go on, though, they could get hot, and then they could lose it. But if they're hot, you ride them.
Well, you know what? All right, let's talk about a guy who's maybe hot and we can ride him. Dylan Larkin, the team captain. Okay,
hey, yo.
Obviously getting his 600th career point with the empty net goal against Seattle. Max, I mean, this guy seems determined to succeed right from the start. I mean, it's McClellan touched on it. It's a different attitude from last year, and it really seems to be working for him right now.
He's off to a great start. I think he's playing the best hockey of his career. And, I go back to the game he played against Edmonton against Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
You're going head-to-head for like 18 minutes with the best player in the world. Keeps him completely off the score sheet, has a 4-point night. It doesn't feel like that's an anomaly for Dylan Larkin right now. I mean, he's playing great hockey. They're trusting him in all kinds of situations. He was so good at the Four Nations last year. And on that kind of world stage, I think introduced himself to an audience of people who certainly knew he existed, but maybe didn't fully appreciate just what he can do against some of the best players in the world. I'm really happy for him with all he's been through in Detroit, that he's getting to have kind of this kind of moment and this kind of start and this kind of spotlight, because he's getting to be close to 30 now, and he's only played the playoff action in his first season. We'll see if he gets there this year. But I think he's playing great hockey, and obviously statistics back it up. So it's been a huge start for him. He's really dragged the Red Wings to where they are, or at least is a big part of how they've gotten here.
Yeah, and I am definitely loving the numbers, as you mentioned. Right now he's on a active 5-game point streak. I mean, 4 goals, 2 assists over the last 5 games. That's the kind of production that you love to see from the captain, because then everybody looks to him. It's like the rising tide that will float all boats in the room. And so far, that's what we're seeing. Because I got to think that also in the room, it's a good feeling right now, with everybody being successful.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge part of it for sure. And you're getting contributions from a lot of different parts of the lineup, right? Your stars certainly producing, your Larkins, your Lucas Raymonds, your Alex DeBrinkets. You're also getting these, young rookies that are producing, and that has a certain energy. When Nate Danielson scores his first goal, that's a boost to the locker room. I think you're also seeing contributions that maybe guys like us don't talk about as much in public, but their penalty kill was one of the worst in the league last year. It's in the top half of the league right now. You got to give a hat tip to your guys like Ben Sherratt, JT Compher, Andrew Kopp, Mason Appleton, an outside addition that did not get a whole lot of fanfare, had some big moments. Everybody's important to this team right now, and that's really good for the locker room.
And we're seeing that it's taken a little bit of the heat off of Steve Yzerman, right? Because at the start of the year, everybody's calling for his head, saying he hasn't done enough, but apparently he has done enough. Guys, I got to take
for now.
I got to toss to a break. Do we say goodbye to Max now?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do,
Max,
unfortunately.
I have to say goodbye to you right now, my man. I appreciate you coming in and chatting with us about the Red Wings. Please come back.
My pleasure, anytime.
Thanks,
All
Max
right.
Bultman
Thanks,
from
Max.
The Athletic. There's much more of the Sports Office right after this break. Welcome back to the Sports Office. You know, part of this is involving fans in our Zoom room. Come on over here with me because Tommy is over here running the Zoom room. Tommy, what do we got tonight?
Right now we got Papa Dot waiting and another gentleman named Marquis.
Is Marquis in there?
Do it too.
Is Marquis in there? All you guys can do it. All you got to do, put up the number again, Tommy. Oh, yeah, we can do that. But all you got to do is get to this information right here. You see what I mean? The QR code and all that kind of stuff way down here in the corner. Yeah, get to it. You can get right into the room. Who do we got, Tommy?
Marquis.
All right, let's talk to Marquis. Marquis, what's up, my man? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
He's muted.
You are muted, Marquis. Oh, there you
There
are.
we go.
So how you doing tonight?
How y'all doing tonight?
What are you looking at tonight? Pistons, Lions, Red Wings, what?
Let's go with the Lions. Shoot me
Okay.
some with the Lions.
So what do you think this week? What did you think last week?
Last week, I think that we was just. I think we let a lot of opportunities slip by us, and our offensive line just didn't protect Golf the way they needed to have him feel comfortable in the pocket to follow through with his passing game, and that it showed all night. It showed all night, as well as no discredit to the head coach, but I think sometimes he has to feel the game out and put some of those risks on the back burner. You know, the game Sunday night was a field position game for us, and he didn't play that.
So
He didn't play that at all.
So can I say that it was a case of Lions beating Lions last week? And if so, how do they advance this week on Sunday against the Giants? What do you think? I think that they can reverse all this, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, the Giants is fortunately for us. You know, you can't take no team lightly, but you know the Giants are the Giants. If you look at their record, so hopefully they'll come out with a bad taste on their mouth, right? Get their game plan together. Hopefully they're working on some schemes and some concepts for the offensive line to protect Golf better. And hopefully Dan Campbell can learn a couple of lessons from this past week. And, you know, I'm not saying that I don't want him to change his coaching style.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, feel the game a little bit better to put us in a better position to win, especially if it comes, you know, a field position type thing.
So do you think that sometimes Campbell gets trapped within the structure of what he likes to do? Like, hey, I always go for it on fourth down, so I have to go. Maybe instead take the points, especially in a field position game the way you described it.
Absolutely. Take the points or pin the other
Right.
team down deep on the other end of the field. Our defense was playing great, so you know they could have played the defense back out there, shorten the field. Allow Golf to get a better, not so much pressure driving the team down, the most length of the field, as well as I like Gibbs a lot, but like Sunday again. I would like to see more Montgomery in the backfield. I would have liked to see both of them in the backfield.
Now you're
There you
talking.
go.
Now you're
I would
talking
like
my
to see
language
both of them
there,
in the backfield.
because I'm with you on that. I would love to see them both in there, because then the defense says, okay, which guy do we cover? And that leaves
Absolutely.
everybody maybe on one-on-ones. And I have to think that guys like St. Brown, guys like Laporta, and those guys can beat one-on-one
Well, that's what I'm
coverage.
saying. When you don't have a guy like Laporta,
Yeah,
having
he's
a guy
gonna be
like
missed.
Montgomery in the backfield, he can catch balls. So when you have those options, then you're in much better shape. So that's a good point.
All right. Hey, Marquis, thanks for coming in there with us tonight. We're going to keep moving on because more people are in the Zoom room. Tommy, who we got?
Papa Dot.
Papa
my man.
Dot.
Papa Dot, how you doing, my man? Good to see you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
I am
What's up?
fantastic. You know, we were just talking Lions, but let me talk some Pistons with you, okay? Because right now,
Okay.
this team has won 11 straight and is on the best start in 18 years. What do you think?
I'm still saying like I always said once before. They do all this good stuff at the start, but when it get crucial, they break down. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
don't
think
know.
that's
I
fair
don't-
to
I don't
say
know
about
if-
this team.
I think I go with you on that, James. I don't know if it's fair to say that about this year's
We've been
team.
going through years with them.
But
with,
you know what?
With all our teams like that.
Didn't we go
They
through
do
those years?
so good.
We went
but
through
when
those years.
When the crucial times, when it's get the pressure getting, they seem like they break down to get too comfortable.
You know-
Right now, I'm liking what they doing, but I'm not trying to get comfortable just yet.
Let me come close
It's
to the
just
camera.
early.
Let me come close to the
Get
camera
close
and
to
talk
him.
to you.
Get
Are
close
you
to him.
talking about my man Cade? Come on now. He's doing awesome things. There is no let up in his game. Doc, come on now.
Cade?
Cade.
I've been digging Cade ever since he been here. Now I give him his credit, but still, let's see when it gets to the point to when it matters. Let's see what
He's
they
the best
do.
fourth quarter player in the league.
I think, you know what?
He's
I
got
think-
the most fourth
I
quarter.
think I like, I like Doc's attitude.
Papa
I like
wants
it.
to see it in the playoffs.
I like it.
So we're going to find out
Right.
if they can come through in the playoffs.
He's
We'll
like,
find
he's
out.
from
Okay.
Missouri. You got to show me. I understand that.
Yeah,
And you know what?
that's right.
I get that totally.
You gotta
And when,
show me.
And that way, when they do show us all, we'll all be jumping from the roof. Papa Doc, thanks a lot tonight. I
Papa
appreciate you
Doc.
coming in.
Hey, buddy.
I got to go to another break. There's more of the Sports Office coming up. We're winding things down here on the Sports Office, but before we go, let's go back into the Zoom room. Ebony Hicks, come on down. You're
Hey.
the next contestant on the Sports Office. How you doing, Ebony?
Thanks, Bob.
$1.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. What do you think? What do you think about tonight's teams? What do you want to talk about?
I think they did good. Everybody played fair. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
All the
you know
teams.
what? All the teams, exactly. Are you a Lions fan? Do you have a prediction for Sunday against the Giants?
Yeah, I'm going for the Lions.
By how many?
I don't do sports, so I really don't know.
Oh, you know what? Here's the best part.
We're here
Ebony.
to teach you.
You're doing sports right now. How's it feel?
I'm kind of confused. To be honest. And I'm kind of
Hey.
scared to click those stuff.
You know what? We will be more than happy to straighten you out on any sports matter. Feel free to just come on in and talk sports if you want, okay? Remember, The Pistons have won 11 straight. The Lions are going to win on
gonna
Sunday.
throw numbers
And the
out.
Red Wings have won 2 straight. So everybody is looking good. And I know that's got to have you feeling good too, right?
Yes.
There you
That'll
go.
work.
see?
That'll work.
Sounds good.
Are you big Lions fans in your house or no?
Yes.
Yes? Who's your favorite Lion? Who's your favorite Lion?
She doesn't do
No, I
sports.
don't have a favorite one. I don't do sports.
Oh,
Come on, Woody.
I just
man.
like the team.
All right, well, you know what? We like the teams too. Thanks a lot, Ebony, for coming in. And don't be a stranger. Come on back. We're happy to have
Thank
you.
y'all so much.
Thank you for
right.
calling.
There
She's
you
gonna
go.
she's
see?
gonna learn sports by watching our show, and then next time
That's a new segment idea.
Well, you know,
it's Woody teaches sports.
Oh, God.
So we're gonna
Oh.
have Woody teach
Could you
certain
imagine?
sports. Yeah. Do you
I-
think you
I
can do
can
it?
imagine.
Now, hold on.
Professor Woodruff.
Is it a 101 class or is it a 301 class?
No, okay.
I prefer the more advanced.
Okay, but what do you think you could teach? Like, give us some ideas
and
here.
not the history of the Canes.
You know, I can teach you how to root for the Red Wings and not the Washington Capitals.
Hey,
I can
come
teach
on.
you how to root for the Pistons, and you know, I can.
How
I,
about the rules of rugby?
no, you know what? We don't care about the rules of rugby.
Could
but
you
I
teach
can
me
tell you-
cricket?
What
I
about
can tell you-
cycling?
I
Let's
can
talk
tell you all about
cycling.
international cycling
There
in
it
the Tour
is.
de France.
Wait, I thought that was
Next
the
year is
Fox
going to
2
be
rider and not
amazing.
Woody.
The Fox 2 rider, he is known for all kinds of excellence here in Detroit and across the world. So yes, when you see the Fox 2 rider for the Tour de France in July, you'll know you're at the right place. Hey, look, thanks to James, thanks to Greg.
Capital
both these guys,
scored.
producers.
Woo!
Capital scored again. They're up 2-0. Congratulations. Michigan in action. We got to go. Bye.